The Cleveland Browns are one of the most uninspiring teams in the NFL. Last summer, the Browns had an 8.5 win total and were favored in 9 games. But this summer, a 5.5 game win total, favored in just 1 game. That's not a team trying to contend, that's a team resetting. The last few years, the Browns haven't been disappointing, they've been hopeless. That's because Deshaun Watson was statistically the worst quarterback in the NFL. Last year, out of 43 quarterbacks with at least 150 passing attempts, Watson ranked 43rd in EPA, 43rd in success, 43rd in explosive pass rate, and 42nd in yards per play. That led the Browns to a 1-5 start before he tore his Achilles. But honestly, the injury might have saved him from further embarrassment. From there, it was just a carousel of chaos. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Jameis Winston, Bailey Zappi, and none of it mattered. And that's why this team feels so directionless, yet so familiar. Welcome to the 2025 Browns quarterback room. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders. 4 quarterbacks, but 0 real clarity. None yet are franchise guys, but that might not be the point. Could the Browns finally be building towards something instead of pretending they've already arrived? Possibly. I mean, they traded out of the number 2 pick, they stacked draft capital for 2026, and they took swings on long shot upside. Gabriel in the 3rd, Sanders in the 5th, Judkins running back, and a roster full of question marks. This isn't tanking, it's triage. It's a franchise admitting it lost the Watson gamble and choosing to live in reality instead of doubling down in denial. And speaking of reality, the Browns were historically bad on offense last year. Let's talk just first down. Here's where they ranked. 32 in EPA per pass, 32 in passing success rate, 32 in passer rating, 32 in EPA per rush, 31 in rushing success, 29 in yards per carry, and 32 in first downs per. It was bad, and it didn't stop there. Because of their pitiful first down offense, they faced the longest third down distance to go in the league. They ranked dead last in third down conversion rate. They ranked dead last in red zone drives, dead last in points per drive, dead last in points per game, and therefore dead last in wins. It carried forward and snowballed, all starting from first down. They also ranked 31st in halftime margin, meaning that they were behind early and often and completely unequipped to play from behind. Their receivers were just as brutal last year. 31st in on-target catch rate, 30th in drop rate. Looking ahead to 2025, the Browns played the NFL's hardest schedule to start the year. Literally, the Bengals, Ravens, Packers, and Lions. It's the hardest in the NFL. It's easy to see how 2025 could spiral before it ever gets started. And yet, there is a narrow path to relevance. From week 6 onward, the Browns do face the 5th easiest road schedule. Their 3 toughest opponents, the Ravens, Bills, and 49ers, all have to come to Cleveland. In the positive case scenario, if the defense somehow holds and if anyone emerges at quarterback, they could potentially punch above their weight, but the odds are stacked extremely high. This defense, while ranked top 5 overall last year, was destroyed by explosive plays. 30th against deep passes, 31st against explosive runs, and now they face the NFL's toughest schedule of opposing offenses. There's only so much Myles Garrett can cover up. Here's the truth. The Browns right now, they are in limbo. Will they tank? Because they're not contending. I mean, maybe it's Dylan Gabriel, I doubt it. Maybe it's Shedeur Sanders, possibly. Maybe it's the top quarterback in the 2026 draft. But this season is no longer about chasing wins. It's about discovering if anything in this locker room can still be salvaged. And if so, who's worth building around? But that doesn't bode well for this coaching staff. Cleveland has the draft capital next year. They've acknowledged the cap disaster that was Deshaun Watson, and they've stopped pretending that Watson is the answer. There are more questions than answers in Cleveland. Unfortunately, it's been that way for far too long. Here's to hoping that 2025 can lead eventually to a brighter future for the Cleveland Browns. Think you're ready for the NFL season? Not without this. 586 pages of straight up football intelligence and predictions for the 2025 season, featuring the sharpest analysis, betting edges, and fantasy insights in the game. Go to sharp.football and level up.